Today is Saturday, November 21st, 2020, and today I'm going to talk about the moon. And first, I'll read this comment. The moon is really misbehaving. Okay, I've posted before about moon phases, etc., but this is a new one. 3 nights ago, I left my house to pick up my son from work about 4 p.m. It was dusky, and I was struck by how pretty the moon looked in the darkening sky, a delicate tiny sliver. He was a little late getting out of work. We drove straight to the supermarket and parked up. Discussing what we wanted for dinner, when I looked up, I reflexively said, "What the F is with the moon?" Not expecting any answer, but eh? However, the immediate answer I got was, "I wish I knew because it was a sliver moon just before you came and got me." So there had been no hint about what my issue with the moon was, but he confirmed exactly what I had seen and noticed. The moon had gone from sliver, the tiniest crescent you can see, to almost double thickness crescent in the space of less than an hour. And I think that this is end times prophecy. And so today I'll just read the entire chapter, Isaiah 24, but I want to get to this verse. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. And the word confounded, I think it's kind of funny that the first definition of confounded that comes up, it's like, he was a confounded nuisance, kind of like dag nabbit. I don't know, it just reminds me of the same kind of person that would say that. But confounded, when I hear confounded, I think confused. And that would be this first one. But then also there's the archaic definition of confounded, meaning to be overthrown. And I think that might be a play here a little bit with the verse. But just to go back to this, there's a lot of strange things going on with the moon. And one thing that I have heard many people talk about is the phase changing all of a sudden. I've seen the moon on the horizon just comically large, like it seems crazy, like you're seeing things. And I've also seen the moon like twisted, the rotation, the orientation of the moon seemed off to me, like it was in a position that I've never seen before. And anyway, so those are just the things that I've seen with the moon. And of course, the moon being extremely bright. But confounded might mean confused, and the moon is doing a lot of confusing things. I guess one thing that is recent is the moon has been very high in the sky, but then like last week the moon was high in the sky, but then yesterday the moon was really low in the sky again. And it just seems like the moon's position is all over the place these days, which would make sense if it was confounded, if it was acting wacky in these end times. So I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 24 in entirety, because there's a lot of good things in this chapter talking about end times that I think apply for today. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So I connect with many things here. Well, one is that things are being turned upside down again, because Satan turned things upside down. Satan made black for white, and white for black, and bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter. So it needs to be turned right side up now. And the scattering, it seems like almost every awake person is by themselves, and it's like we're scattered. So this verse reminds me of the mark of the beast. And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. It reminds me of, I don't know if you saw my video where I mentioned connections between this dystopian communist, and it'll be a worldwide, a totally earth-wide communist beast system. If you go read the verse that talks about the mark of the beast, it makes it seem like it puts everybody on the equal, everybody's going to be equal. And that's what this reminds me of. Except for those who reject the mark of the beast. The followers of Jesus Christ are going to have to reject the mark of the beast. But I do personally believe in rapture. I believe that a decent number of people will be saved from having to go through the tribulations. And I think that all this stuff, after the firmament opens up and after the mark of the beast is introduced, it'll be people's last chance. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And, of course, I think that this few men left thing is being literal because of the pickle factory and all the free martins going around, there really are few men left today. And there's another Bible verse about men being as rare as the gold of Ophir. Few men left. If you have the eyes to see skeletons, you know that there's few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. And so I connect with that because right before I woke up, I was an alcoholic, and a lot of people were alcoholics before waking up. I've heard that, just many, many people saying that, and a lot of people still struggle with alcohol, of course. And it does seem like there's not much merriness to drinking anymore. It's just mostly bitterness. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Reminds me of the lockdowns. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. This reminds me of the homeless problem. Cities are just overrun with homeless camps these days. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord, they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord God of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me! The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. So this is talking about end times, and I wonder if the noise of the fear is the trumpet, the great trumpeting. When I read Revelation and I hear about the firmament opening up, or no, I read about it, it seems like all this stuff is simultaneous. It seems like the firmament will open up, Jesus will come in the clouds. It seems like at the same time the earth is going to shake violently like it's never shaken before. The big one that they've always been talking about ever since I've been alive. They've been talking about the big one. And I think the whole meme of California ripping off and going into the ocean, that could very much happen. A part of California really could. This is going to be such a big earthquake that, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a chunk of California goes into the ocean. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. And I guess I'll just point out here that this is where I think that they bring in the beast system. I think that on that day, when Jesus comes back in the clouds, I believe that they're going to try to play it off as some sort of alien invasion. And they'll probably say that the aliens are using technology to shake the earth like crazy. And they'll say that the aliens are throwing meteors at us, which are actually just things falling from the heavens. And I believe that they'll probably make the mark of the beast something about, oh, everybody needs to get immunized against the alien flu or something. Or they'll probably say that the aliens are unleashing bio-warfare on us and everyone needs to go get vaccinated. So if you are a follower of Jesus Christ, you need to reject the mark of the beast and read up on what the mark of the beast is so that you know when it's here. And we're so close to being there. That's the whole making people wear a mask to go shopping. It's pre-programming or desensitization. They want people to be ready and willing to accept the mark of the beast. And you will be shunned from society for rejecting the mark of the beast, but you must reject the mark of the beast if you want to go to heaven. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall, and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day, that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion, and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. So the fact that this moon part is at the end of this chapter, maybe the word confounded here more is talking about being overthrown. What was given earlier as the archaic definition of confounded, meaning overthrown. Like the Bible, I think, mentions like kings being confounded, meaning overthrown. And I think that has something to do with, in the end, we're not going to have day and night. In heaven, there's not going to be a day and the night, so there's no use for the moon. And we might not even have a moon. I don't know. It even talks about the oceans going away, there being no sea. I don't know how it's going to work. I have no idea. But we can look in the Bible and get clues. And so I don't necessarily think that the confounded here means like a confused moon. I think this might be referring to the end. In the end, the moon is going to be, it might just be gone at that point when we're in heaven. I don't know. However, the fact that the moon is acting wacky in these last days, I think gives more evidence that we're heading towards this. We're heading towards the moon being overthrown. It's acting crazy. Even the news is telling us that the moon is rusting, and they're coming out with all sorts of strange things about the moon. And I think anyone can look at the moon and see that it's not what it used to be. Nowadays, it throws off glare. Even when it's a tiny sliver, it throws off glare. And that's another part of Isaiah prophecy. The light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. I think we're already there. I think the moon is shining like the sun. That's why we see it during the daytime all the time now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to let people know that this stuff is biblical. When people talk about strange occurrences in the heavens, I think that it should be everyone's duty to point out that, hey, this stuff is biblical. This is serious. And it just irks me so much. I get so mad when people talk about this stuff, and then the comments are full of people full of NASA garbage. They're like, or just even worse, sci-fi stuff. We're jumping dimensions. Oh, the sun simulator. That stuff just pisses me off. No, it's end times prophecy is being fulfilled. God bless everyone.